United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to the December 8th meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. My name is Shelley Bueller, and I have the pleasure of serving as chair of the commission. Alongside my colleagues, Commissioner Kevin Cook.
Good morning.
And Commissioner Bob Archer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Clerk, the first item, please.
First item is under item 1, proclamations, presentations, consideration of a letter of support for the merger of Westar Energy with KCP&L.
And I received a phone call from Michelle, and Mark Ruel is here, so if you have any comments, you can just come to the podium. And
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. I'll keep things brief, but I also have some very recent news, like still wet ink news. All good. Fundamentally, we know, and there's even examples in our own community where when you combine infrastructure, it's more efficient. And that's really what this is about, making a more efficient company for our customers. Continuing to raise prices when electricity sales aren't continuing to grow to provide those revenues just isn't the answer. We've got to find better ways to do it. And the most effective way we can get better, meaning more efficient, is by combining our company with our next door neighbors. It's not any surprise that our next door neighbors provide the greatest scope of efficiencies. We own power plants together. We have literally hundreds of miles of adjacency of our two operations, and the folks from both companies have been busy planning that integration. And in fact, just this morning, about an hour ago, they've announced the organizational structure in contemplation of closing this transaction, and consistent with the buyer's intentions and stated intentions earlier, it is significantly inclusive of Westar executives, including executives in Topeka, Kansas. I'd be happy to answer any questions or comments.
Commissioner Cook, any questions?
Just two questions, Mark. First, can you tell us why is this good for Topeka? Mm-hmm. And then, Topeka has a great presence with Westar. We have our headquarters here, and do we anticipate having that kind of footprint and impact with the merger?
Fortunately, yes, which is unusual. So why do it? Well, everybody has to get better. It doesn't matter what business you're in, what organization you represent. It can be a family farm, anything. You got to get better or you fall behind. For us, better means safe, reliable, cleaner, and affordable, keeping it affordable. Of all the possible strategies we could pursue to keep cost pressures off of our customers, combining with another company made the most sense. Combining with this particular company made even more sense for a number of reasons. First of all, we know them, we share assets with them, and they were the one party that not only provided the most value to our shareholders, of which there are about 1,500 Westar shareholders in Shawnee County alone. That's just registered shareholders. I don't know how many are in broker names. But also made the commitments to our communities and our employees. So they will maintain the downtown Topeka headquarters of Westar Energy as you see it today. I would guess in a year or two it might have a different name on the building, but it will be here. It won't be in name only. They intend to have significant operations here, and the announcement today affirmed that by noting the folks that will have offices in both locations and the folks that will retain primary offices here. As to the timing of why does it make sense right now, it really has to do with our demographics. We are an organization chock full of baby boomers, and they are retiring in huge waves. So by getting a more skinny company today, more efficient company today, we can do it by not backfilling every job that opens up as opposed to having to lay people off. Were we to do this 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we'll have a much younger workforce, and we wouldn't be able to get those savings without doing more of it on the backs of our employees. The other thing that they've committed to in the contract is to maintain our charitable support, our community support. If you talk to the CEO, he'll tell you that I demanded that be in the contract, but he'll also say it was a no-brainer for them because that's how they operate too. Each of our companies has literally hundreds of our people in leadership positions on community and not-for-profit and similar type organizations, and not surprisingly, our respective philanthropic activities sort of follow that activity and will continue. And as I said, that's actually in the purchase and sale trust that they'll continue that.
And that's been a big, and Manager, if I may, that's been a big part of Westar. I mean, I know that I've seen you personally involved in the community, from charitable events to just even being out on a first Friday in no tow, and just being visible in the community, and that's a big part. We would hate to lose that through a merger, because having that ability to be seen in the community and know your community and know that you're part of our community.
Yeah, some very senior executives will continue to reside here. I'll be a merger savings. I'll step aside. We don't plan to move, but I will no longer continue with the company after we close it. But a number of our senior folks will. We'll actually probably have, my guess is a few more of our folks continue, but they haven't continue perhaps as non-executives initially, but we haven't got to that next level yet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Archer, do you have anything?
No, I do not.
No? I know you had the public hearing on Monday, was that?
We did.
And then the letters of support are still being done. What's the timeline then from this point on?
I'll get you close, but I'm sorry I can't get you very precise. I
Okay.
know the public comment period is still open for at least 2 or 3 more weeks.
Okay.
After that, my memory gets a little foggy as to whether it's like January 9th or January 18th or something like
Okay.
that.
All right.
But we appreciate all of the folks that came out in support. It was overwhelmingly constructive in terms of the comments people had on Monday night, and we're grateful for that.
Very good. All right. So what is the motion?
But there may be others that want to.
That's true. Anyone in
Want
the
to make
audience that
comments?
wants to make any comments on this item? Again, it's a letter of support for the merger. Okay, thank you.
I'll move to approve then.
There's a motion to approve by Commissioner Archer,
Second.
second by Commissioner Cook. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0, and we'll get that out to you
Thank you,
as
Commissioner.
soon as we're finished with the meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for being here this morning as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Madam Clerk, before we go any further, I do have a request to pull item F1, and that's under the Health Department. And if there are no objections, I'll remove that item.
No objections.
Okay. The next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
4 items on the consent agenda. Any questions?
I would move for approval of the consent agenda as presented.
It's a motion by Commissioner Cook,
Second.
second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item 4, new business A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Madam Chair, this morning we have one voucher report dated December 7th, 2016. Total amount of vouchers, $898,023.98. Significant items include $309,000 for capers, $140,000 for elections office. And let me say, at this point, as far as the elections office goes, Audit Finance has notified me that the elections office might go over their authorized budget expenditures by a significant amount. I have asked the county counselor to review actions and sanctions in this situation. But let's be clear, this is unacceptable. It is the responsibility of every leader in Shawnee County to manage to their budget. Holding accounts, $106,000. Health insurance, $102,000. I've reviewed the vouchers. My questions have been answered, and I'll move to approve.
Thank you. It's a motion by Commissioner Archer.
Madam Chair, I will
Is there a second?
second, but I will also note, it's my understanding that the Elections Commissioner may have an item on the agenda for Monday, and it might be prudent at that point to start to inquire as to what the Elections Commissioner budget may be or what the issues may be with his office.
Agree. Thank you. Just a question, are the payments for elections, are those included, the board worker payments
Yes.
in these vouchers
Yeah,
today?
That's the
Okay.
significant amount of the vouchers.
Okay,
Madam Chair.
all right. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move approval.
Second.
The second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item A3, consider authorization and execution of contract C360-2016 with Southwest Solutions Group, Inc. for annual maintenance of two Cardex retrievers at a cost of $1,184.31. Commissioners, this is the annual maintenance on my two retrievers in my office. It is less than what we budgeted, which was kind of fun to know. I looked when they first sent the memo to me and said it was $1,184. I only budgeted $625. I don't have that much money. It was for both of them, so that was kind of nice. So this includes for them to come out and service. It includes because they have to come out of Kansas City. That's the only place I can get my retrievers repaired. But that's of course for storage of some files, and it makes it very convenient because it's big and holds lots of information. So
Thank you. I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
thank you. A4, consider approval and authorization of resolution number 2016-86, authorizing a 2017 cereal malt beverage license to the Shack, Inc., located at 2842 Southeast 29th Street, Topeka, Kansas, including Sunday sales. And this is the second to the last CMB that we will be presenting to you. LaRocca, the one that had to get their 2016 about a week ago, they're ready, but that'll be on before the end of the year. But
Okay.
so everything was approved, has gone through the counselor's office, all of the required inspections, and everything was passed. So just ask that you approve the CMB for them.
Thank you.
I'll move to adopt the resolution.
Thank you. There's a motion by Commissioner Archer.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. Item B, District Court number 1, consider approval of the purchase under state contract of 3 cubicles and new countertops at a total cost of $8,114.47 for the clerk of the court's office renovation payable from the 2016 budget.
Good morning, Charles Heidovitz, District Court. We are going to reallocate some staff within the clerk's office, adding 3 cubicles, as well as replacing the countertop. Some of the formica is chipped and pulling away, so this is an opportunity for us to refresh the entire suite. We're also going to be putting new carpeting and paint in there as well, so it's going to be a whole new renovation and upgrade.
Thank you. Are there questions? Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
There's a motion by Commissioner Cook.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item B2, consider approval of the purchase of 25 Veridesk units at a cost of $480.15 each for a total of $12,003.75 for the clerk of the court's office payable from the 2016 budget.
Good morning, Charles Heidovitz, District Court. This also is for the clerk's office. That staff is largely clerical in nature, and they sit for a good portion of the day. And some of the staff have had some complaints about back issues, et cetera, and so we asked them if this would be something that they might be interested in. Not all of the staff responded, only the 25 desks that we asked for. These desks particularly are suited for cubicle space. So there are others that are just for standalone desks, so these are designated for cubicles, and we asked that you approve this budget. We did get a slight discount for the bulk quantity purchase.
Thank you. Any questions?
Move to approve the purchase.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item B3, consider approval of the purchase under state contract of a new desk furniture in 31 offices at a cost of $43,012.60 and guest seating at a cost of $10,808.46 in Court Services Room 104 payable from the 2016 budget.
Good morning, Charles Heidovitz, District Court. This is for the Court Services office. We're going to be replacing half of the units, desks this year on the first floor, 31 offices. It will include guest seating and desks. The desks that they have now are archaic. Some are they're all metal desks. Some of the drawers don't open, et cetera. So this is an entire refresh. As you know, you approved this at the last budget cycle, new carpeting for that suite, and that has been done. And so this is the next phase of refreshing that office. Next year, hopefully, if the funds exist, we'll address the basement offices down the hall.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Ms. Radovitz, what is the plan to do with the existing furniture and seating? Are we going to be giving that to Purple Wave or to auctioning it off? What's our plan for it?
I had a conversation with Betty Griner about that particular issue, and due to the quantity and logistics involved, Ms. Griner indicated that it was not necessary for us to go to Purple Wave because we probably wouldn't be getting that much money for it, so that we're going to hire a junk hauler, send it to recycling, and if we can get those funds back to Shawnee County for the scrap metal.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there a motion on this item?
So moved.
There's a motion by Commissioner Cook.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Item B4, consider approval to hire T.D. Wilson Painting, Inc. for painting of offices, courtrooms, and chambers as needed at a cost of $10,000, and approval to hire Furniture Mall of Kansas for carpeting in courtrooms and chambers as needed at a cost of $81,152, and carpeting in room 209, Clerk of the District Court, at a cost of $39,182, all payable from the 2016 budget.
Good morning, Charles Hyde of this district court. The first part of this request is $10,000 from our existing budget to address painting needs in the chambers that we're going to be dealing with, as with the carpeting that's also included in here. We are going to address carpeting needs in divisions 8, 10, 11, 13, the administrative hearing officer on the third floor, our video arraignment courtroom in suite 406. I'd like to point out that the video arraignment courtroom will then turn into our swing space for the judges that are being affected in the cyclical maintenance project, so that they can continue to have chambers while their office is out of commission and the carpeting is being installed, so they're not going to lose any productivity about that. All of the funds that we're talking about today have been budgeted over the course of the year from our existing appropriation.
Okay. Thank you. Questions on this item?
Just
Commissioner Archer?
quickly, Chuck, does all of these moves, do they mesh well with our long-term plan to redo courthouses or courtrooms?
Yes, indeed. This would be the first aspect of this, putting new carpeting down. The areas, these are the courtrooms are the worst. There are rooms that have carpeting that's torn. It's running in waves, so it creates a trip hazard. So these are the really ones that need to be done. We will be following on with additional technology that's going to be next year, and incorporating our video evidence presentation systems into there as well. And as money becomes available, we'll replace seating and things of that nature.
But there is a systematic plan.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Okay.
just, there's only so much, funding at the present time to
Right.
deal with everything.
Well, and to kind of to follow up, oftentimes carpet is the last thing, that they do. So in these spaces, we're not gonna create a mess so that then we mess up the new carpet, right? Or,
Now, the nice thing about this is these are carpet tiles. It's not rolled goods.
okay,
So that carpet tile can come up, be reserved, and then if we do large construction,
okay,
then they can come back down.
okay, very good. Thank you.
I'll move to approve.
So motion by Commissioner Archer,
Second.
second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the pictures on the before, during. Look forward to the
Exactly.
after.
And I would just like
pictures,
to
yeah.
say, at this point, the fourth floor bathrooms that are being converted into ADA restrooms, they are in the process of being torn out and renovated
Very
right now.
good.
So
Thank you.
Item C, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider approval of request to submit an application of accreditation through the Commission of Accreditation of Parks and Recreation Agencies with an application cost of $100.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. Before you today is a application for accreditation through CAPRA. It is our first step in the process of becoming accredited. If you recall in our master plan was requesting us, or thought we should become accredited agency. And basically accreditation is just a distinguished mark of excellence. It's basically the ability for park agencies to see if they can meet the requirements and standards to run quality programs, facilities, and services at a national standard level. a little well-known fact, it's not an easy process. There's only 143 departments nationwide that are accredited. That's only 1.5% of all of the departments in the nation that go through this process. It does take a lot of time and a lot of effort, but I totally believe it is worth it. It's going to be our stamp of approval for the public. I like to read a couple testimonials from other departments that I think hit it pretty well. It's critically important to be proud of your department, but it's even more important to have that be validated. Accreditation is the difference between we think and we know, and it brought us together as a team and as a department. And that last one, we've already seen the effects of that. Last month we had a kickoff mainly to have an all-employee meeting. The directors provided lunch, and we went through a PowerPoint presentation on what's all out there for accreditation and what needs to be done. I've been here a long time, but I don't think I've ever had a better all-employee meeting than that one. Our accreditation process, there's 10 different categories that it's all broken into. We divided, we had 10 team captains, and we strategically put employees with each of the captains. They're going to work on each of the chapters together. And I believe during that exercise we did, we had more interaction and answers and questions going back and forth, whether it was a park maintenance worker talking to a director. But it's going to be a learning process for everybody, and I'm really excited that the buy-in that we got off of that first get-together last month. As I mentioned, with the master plan, called for accreditation, but it also called for development of our Citizen Advisory Advocate Board. And this board was instructed to not be like our last board. It was going to be more specifically focused on specific tasks, such as implementation of the master plan, intergovernmental relations. I believe Jim Martin's here. He was here last week with the capital improvement. And the other part of that is accreditation for our department. At this time, I'd like to introduce Terry Roberts. She's a member of our advisory board and volunteered to be the chair of the accreditation team. She brings a lot of experience with the accreditation, and we're very happy to have her. Terry?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't bring a lot of experience, but I understand it. Just a little bit. I'm a registered nurse, and I run a national specialty nursing organization that happens to be headquartered here in Topeka, Kansas. It's the American Holistic Nurses Association. We just bought a building on 29th Street, and we've been here about 4 years. We moved here kind of under the radar, so we're pleased to call Topeka our home. The reason I volunteered for the accreditation team captain on the advisory committee is because I understand it. Being a registered nurse and in kind of high levels in the state, I understand voluntary accreditation, and we have a certifying body, and they do that for our discipline, okay? So when they asked, they said, "You really want to do this?" I said, "Oh yeah, I understand it's tedious and time consuming. I get that." So I did attend the staff meeting, and I too was very pleased with not only the enthusiasm, and he dressed up as the coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. We kind of used the football theme, you know.
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah, it was
Some
very entertaining, but it really was. And one of the things that the Johnson County director, who came down to give her overview, because they're one of the 3 in the state that are accredited, she mentioned the enhanced communication among the staff. And I really felt like the room was engaged in that, and I'm pleased to hear it, because this process is neither fun and it doesn't create joy. It does create results, though, okay? It's tedious, it's time-consuming, and the staff are going to have to do most of the work. And I will tell you that we have 4 members on our advisory committee that have agreed to serve on this, and will be monitoring and attending those 1-hour staff meetings when they come together to review their work. And so that and he's right, I don't know about the past committee of advisory committee, but we're not just cheerleaders. We do advise. We ask critical thinking questions for them. So it is our intent to continue to do that as they go through the process. I wanted to also say that in addition to the 10 divisions, there's 151 standards that have to be met. Many of them are already being met, okay? But there's still others that need to be, and it's partially a documentation process. 3 benefits to the public, one that I kind of want to champion. first off, that it's a validation of well-administered services, and it has the potential for external financial support, which is grant funding, which is something that has come up in our advisory committee. You know, there's some foundations out there that are willing to provide grant funding for certain things, targeted venues, and we need to be in the food chain to apply for those. Well, when you're accredited, you're at a higher standard. They're like, okay, they already do their stuff well. You know, we're legitimate, we can apply for it. So that's one of the other reasons that the advisory committee has said this is really a reason to go forward, because we can then apply for grants, and it'll be easier for us to get them because we won't have to substantiate our operations. So,
Okay.
and then improved customer service is the third one for going for voluntary accreditation.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Wow, we're lucky to
Yeah,
have you.
Very much so, very much so.
We
I hope the
certainly
staff
are.
think that after we're done.
No,
We do ask some
We
pretty
certainly are. Very
specific.
impressive, very impressive advocacy. I appreciate it. And it's been my experience that efforts like this, there is a tremendous payoff.
We're hoping so.
But it is tedious, and it is a
Oh.
lot of work, and you have to question every approach that you've got to
Right, right,
providing
and then
service.
just one other thing, because I have staff and I work with nurses, and actually I'm on the American Nurses Association Board of Directors at the national level. You know, it's important to get all that input, okay? But it's sometimes frustrating for staff when they have to answer those questions and provide that feedback, or go back and do another analysis, or that it's not really truly reflective of what's going on or what needs to go on. Another thing about these standards, it does require community input, you know, for
Good.
Parks and Rec, okay? So that's important, that we're meeting the needs of our community, okay? It's not just what the staff think the needs are. We've actually done a needs assessment, that we recognize it, that we're attending to it. So, thank you.
I like the approach too, though, staff and the advisory committee coming together and working on this as well. It's not just one group's responsibility, so that's appreciated too.
Yeah, we have
that's good.
some really, really good advisory committee members who have stepped up, which I think is going to serve the county and the community well.
Great.
I mean, Commissioner Beulah,
Yes.
with the work that Mr. Martin's been putting in with
Mhm.
capital improvement, LJ Pauley with leading the
Yes.
advisory board, with
Mhm.
you with your work on the accreditation, Shawnee County has really lucked out with some of our volunteers, and so thank you, all of you, for all of your hard work.
Thank
Very
you.
much appreciated. So Randy, this is a request to submit the application, correct?
Correct. Mhm.
Okay. I'll move approval of the request.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cook. I'll check, though. Anyone else in the audience wanting to speak on this item? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Item D, Sheriff's Office, number one, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Jones correcting contract C 355-2016, which indicated a cost of $75,000 for software maintenance of the 911 phone system from AT&T, and now reflecting the correct amount of $75,100.
Morning, Commissioners. Lance Warrior with the Sheriff's Office. Through my mistake, $75,000 carried through the entire process all the way to you, and it should have been $75,100. So I apologize for that, but I'd appreciate it if you'd approve $100 more for this project.
Okay. I'll move to acknowledge receipt.
Second.
And second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item D2, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Jones regarding a purchase of cameras originally acknowledged on the September 15, 2016 Commission agenda of an increase in project cost from $25,392.79 to $26,074.73.
Morning, Commissioners. Again, during the install of this project, we decided we needed an additional piece of hardware that would make this more secure and work better for us. So that's why there's a change here.
I'll move to acknowledge receipt of the correspondence.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Archer.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item E, corrections, number one, consider approval of request to solicit bids for the purchase of various inmate clothing and supplies needed through the 2017 calendar year.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole. Before I get started, I wanted to say, I probably could have said it earlier, was commend John Knight and his staff for going through the accreditation process of one who's been through the accreditation process since 2003 with mental health and health care. I know the work that it goes in recently seeking and awarded accreditation. It is a very tedious process. I know Terry Roberts very well, and I've worked with her on quite a few things, and what I can tell you is you better be prepared to work. Because she is a go-getter. But no, I commend you on that. That's a tremendous thing. This is just our annual request to be able to go out to start now. I talked to Betty already, to be able for us to go out and lock in bids for our supplies and services that we provide for various inmate clothing and supplies needed through the calendar year of 2017. We go out for bid on all of that, and we put together a sheet, and we go out to our vendors and we lock in all of these prices, and I just wanted to get a head start. This is based off of our past practice and our budgeted funds. We will have the money in the account in 2017. I just want to be able to get that started now and to go, and be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions for this item? It's just soliciting bids, correct?
Yes.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Cook.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Item F, Health Department. Item 1 has been pulled. Item 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-361-2016 with Dr. Gianfranco Pizzino, MD, MPH, to continue serving in the capacity of health officer for Shawnee County at an annual cost of $52,920, plus the cost of licensing, malpractice insurance, and continuing education as is applicable to the role of health officer.
Good morning, Commissioners. Allison Alejos, Health Department. It is time to renew the health officer's contract, and so Dr. Pizzino is willing to serve for another year. We know that he's been in place since 2006, and he's provided a very good service for us over the years. He does a lot of things for the health department, including signing protocols for the work that we do, so immunizations and some of those treatments for STDs. He is also very involved when we are investigating communicable disease outbreaks. He helps prevent or put in those implementation of control measures, so he's very, very engaged in that. He's also he's very involved with the medical community when it comes to public health issues, and he certainly helps us, again, much help with our communicable disease protocols and the things that we are doing to control communicable diseases in the community. He is very well known, not only here locally, but across the state and the nation. Again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. If there's ever a time that we need a health officer, he's the one I want in my corner. He's got that much knowledge, and he will just help us through those different things that we deal with. He has asked for an increase in his salary, a 5% increase. Please know he has not had an increase since 2009, and so this is less than 1% over those years is what that would translate to. So it would go up to $52,920 a year. We would also, in this place, continue to cover the cost of his licensing and malpractice insurance, and he does occasionally request, or we request of him to attend certain educational pieces that will help him keep up on his skills and things he needs to be the health officer. This is in our budget, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thanks, Allison. Any questions from the commission? I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Item G, Commission of one, acknowledge receipt of a letter of resignation of Connie Cook as a Topeka Township Clerk.
Commissioners, these next two items are the notification to us about the resignation first of Connie Cook. And as far as the steps to fill that position, Ashley, I know that you might not have that information, and we don't have the election clerk or election commissioner here. So I think just the only action would be to acknowledge receipt of the letter today. And then I can follow up with more information on the process we need to fill that
So
position.
moved.
So motion by Commissioner Archer.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item G2, acknowledge receipt of a letter from William Ross declining his election by write-in to serve as a Silver Lake Township trustee.
And this was the position that there was a tie. And we drew out of a hat, and Mr. Ross won, but he is declining that election. So, again, the process on how to fill that, more to follow. So, I'll move to acknowledge receipt of the letter.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Bueller, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item G3, acknowledge that Commissioner Cook is appointing Matthew McCurry to the Shawnee County Planning Commission.
Commissioners, I have an opening. I've been notified by Mr. Applehands that he is unable to, or wanting to do something a little bit different, and so he has served well, and I want to thank Mr. Applehands for his service, and would like to appoint Mr. McCurry in his, to serve a term.
Okay. And let's go ahead, and I don't believe that there is a vote required, because that's.
I move to acknowledge.
Let's do that. It's motion by Commissioner Cook,
Second.
second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item G4, acknowledge that Commissioner Archer is reappointing Sandra Griffiths and Brenda Block to the Kansas Expo Center Board for 3-year terms.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Sandy and Brenda Block for their service to the community, and they're doing an excellent job on the Expo Center Board. So I'll move to acknowledge my suggestions.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item 5, administrative communications.
Charles Heidowitz, District Court. On my memo of 12-2 asking for the funds that you just appropriated, there was a section in there asking for the commissioners to establish a special project fund. That question was overlooked on the agenda, and I wanted to ask whether or not you would allow us to establish that type of fund identical to and separate from the same project fund that's been established for the construction project in Division 5. I have spoken to Betty Reiner about that, and she did not have any objection to it. It's her recommendation that we do that.
Which item is that on?
It's not, it wasn't on there.
It was not.
It was in the memo that I sent on December 2nd.
But which,
It would be for
which item?
the $81,000 for carpeting and $10,000.
So item B4?
Yeah.
Correct.
Just give us a minute to get there. Okay. Betty, do you have any
Right.
comments? Yeah, I don't know that that was reflected.
Not just the 81 and the 10,000.
Okay, in paragraph 3, could you read that again to the commission now? Because I don't know if the commissioners have the attachment, so.
It would be for the, it would be
Just-
before, the memo is,
Therefore, the court respectfully requests the commissioners to approve the establishment of a special project fund.
correct.
The budgeted amounts for the projects noted below would be transferred from the court's 2016 fiscal year budget into the fund and debited as each project is completed.
Correct. We have a very aggressive schedule, but we won't be finished until June,
Okay,
and so the monies won't be spent by the first quarter.
okay. So we probably need to make a motion to reconsider item B4, and I will do that. Is there a second?
But essentially, this is to spill over money from your 2016 budget that you're not going to spend it in 2017?
Well, as the
Really?
projects become completed,
Right.
we'll pay the vendor, but we can't, nothing, as I understand, monies from 2016 budget need to be encumbered and spent by the end of the first quarter.
Right.
But we won't be finished until June, so therefore we're asking to put these monies in a special project fund, similar to what we've done for Division 5, and hold those funds until those phases are taken care of. So as each office is done, we would pay for that particular portion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I might just clarify. In 2016, you will have an identified amount.
Correct.
And so you will know exactly the amount that is going to be spent for these items for B4.
That is correct.
The only issue is that you will not have fully paid for it because the services will not be complete by the end of the first quarter.
That is correct.
And so there's not a possible way for you to prepay for those services.
I would have no problem prepaying, but I certainly don't like paying for services that haven't been rendered in case there is a problem.
Right. And that's why I meant there's no way to prepay for those services. And so what you're not asking to have a open-ended amount from your 2016 budget for this special project fund. It will be for a set amount.
Exactly. It will be for $91,152.
And so maybe at this point, Ms. Greiner, if you might advise if there's ways that we've done this before, or
In situations like this where amounts have been allocated for a specific project, as he said, we cannot prepay for services that will not be performed until next year. We cannot encumber funds that will not be spent by March 15th. They would have to be purchased by the end of this year, and services you can't really purchase. And they would have to be spent by March 15th. So if this is something you want to approve, it would need to go into a project budget, and then, as he said, as they are completed, it would be paid out of that project budget. So it is using 2016 funds that will not be expended till in 2017. That's why it would need to go into a project fund.
But this is nothing out of the ordinary. We've done this before,
Yes.
haven't we? Yeah.
Yes, we have done this before, that's correct.
So do you need commission, I mean, we approve the
Normally what we do
request,
though
but.
is you approve a request to transfer it from the general
Yeah.
fund into a project budget.
Okay.
And that's what was not brought up at the time
Correct.
you made the
Okay.
approval, is all.
So would
It's
it-
just to transfer the funds from the general fund to the transfer.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
If I was to make a motion for the creation of a special project fund for item B4, that would then alleviate any issues.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, I'm going to check though, we are in administrative communications and we are not on item B4, so I'm gonna, if you could hold just a minute, I think we need to reconsider item B4.
Like what you did
B4.
first, a
Okay.
motion to
So
reconsider.
I'll make a motion to reconsider.
Second.
And then there's a second by Commissioner Archer. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0. And now,
I make my motion to create a special project fund for item B4.
along with the approval previous, okay? There's a motion by Commissioner Cook.
Second.
And second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Apologize for overlooking that.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our
Yeah.
attention, because it is kind of down in the body of the memo, so we didn't pick it up as we were putting the agenda together either, so, thank you. Any other administrative communications? No one else? This is the time, if you have any public comments, you can come to the podium.
Good morning, my name is Christy Grecian, and I'm a member of Moscow Heart of Mary Catholic Church. Ms. Bueller is my representative. I'm here today on behalf of Topeka Jump to give you an update on a couple of our campaigns. I would first like to say that we appreciate the increased allocation to mental health that was implemented for both 2016 and 2017. Jump is currently working to bring employment opportunities to more individuals in our community with mental illness. Vallejo Behavioral Health has indicated that their evidence-based supported employment program is currently meeting the employment needs of their clients. However, we believe that there are employment service providers across the county who can identify additional mentally ill individuals who could also benefit from Vallejo's employment program. We hope these individuals can be referred to Vallejo and ultimately start participating in the workforce. We plan on reporting back to you next quarter on our progress in making this happen. During our campaign last year, JUMP identified the need for more safe and affordable housing in the city of Topeka for low-income families. We heard story after story about families who are unable to earn more than $20,000 a year for various reasons and must choose between living in poor conditions or paying rent that amounts to 50% or more of their income. City data shows that there are more low-income families in Topeka than there are affordable units available to them. Our desire is to see our city eliminate the shortage of safe, affordable housing that's available to these low-income individuals. It will take funding and policy change to do this, and JUMP thinks that the best practice of an affordable housing trust fund should be considered. Our work on this with the city is underway, and we look forward to making an impact in this area. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Christy. Appreciate it. Anyone else for administrative communications? Mr. Archer, anything?
Madam Chair, the only thing I had is, and I'm sure you'll talk about it more, but it's not too early to start talking about the JADO meeting next week. And this is going to be a critical meeting, I believe. I looked through the document, or started looking through the documentation, and I think it's 183 pages.
It's a long agenda.
It's long agenda, but it's very important because it talks about the results that we've had for 2016. It talks about the plans for 2017. It talks about addressing the Garner Report recommendations. This is a very, very important meeting, and I hope it will get adequate coverage through the media, and that people will attend and make their voices heard at that meeting. So that's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Cook?
I thought it was a very generous offer for Commissioner Archer to buy us all pizza for the JADO meeting, considering how long it's been, that wasn't, no? Oh.
Absolutely, I'm taking orders right now.
I just want to report that I had the opportunity to attend the Master Gardeners Banquet on Tuesday evening, and it was a very good banquet to be at and well-attended, and all the volunteers and the hours, and I'm sure that Cindy could talk about the amount of the return that Shawnee County has with the volunteers, and recognize people that had volunteered for 5, 10, 15, and even 20 years.
Wow.
And so really a great group to be with. So.
Very good. Awesome. All right. I want to say congratulations to Alice Weingartner. She was chosen as part of the leadership Greater Topeka class of 2017. So I had the chance to deliver her announcement, and she's very excited. So I wish her all the luck. Next Monday, well, let me see here. Actually, Saturday, I know we will be at, all three of us at different times, I believe, we'll be at Carlos O'Kelly's for the Kansas Children's Service League's Red Stocking Breakfast, so come and see us there. On Monday, we have a pretty long agenda, and we have a work session immediately following discussing capital outlay. But it's looking like it's a pretty long agenda as well. On Tuesday night, myself and Public Works will be attending the Willard City Council meeting just to give them an update on the bridge and have some communication with them. So I'll be attending that on Tuesday evening. And then, yes, JADO is 6 o'clock on the 14th. And we will have to move it along, but a lot of good discussion I know will happen. It's our last meeting of the year, and so it's 186, is that right?
183 I counted,
183?
but
Okay.
I'm sure Commissioner Cook will correct that number.
As I'm eating my pizza.
As you're
Yeah.
eating your pizza.
Yeah, important meeting. All right, and I don't think I have anything else.
Item 6, executive session.
And I do not believe there's a need. So we are adjourned. Thank you.